I read a very interesting analysis from one of those science journals about potted plants. I mean, very interesting that when you put a plant in a pot and you want to grow it, the roots of that particular plant, they reach out to the extent of where the pot is. Basically, they're getting intelligence. And then guess what? The plant will grow commensurate to the intelligence of the roots. In other words, it will not grow tall because of the extent of the pot, the size of the pot. And then, very interesting from that journal, that if you put that plant in a bigger pot, all right, every one of those species, in fact, every species that were tracked, they grew 43% bigger when they were not put in a pot. Very interesting situation there. And it's about growth in terms of potential. And I want us to discuss those two aspects today, about intelligence for you as a human being and about your growth and also about your potential. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
That study is very interesting. That is kind of like the plant has its own intelligence of sorts that is orchestrated by the roots. I mean, it is mind-boggling. But forget about the plant. Let us talk about the human being. Let us talk about yourself as an individual. There is some serious kinds of intelligences that you can be able to use in your life. And this intelligence I'm not talking about the inherent intelligence that all of us have been given, to function. I'm talking about the acquired intelligence. Now, when I talk about intelligence here, I'm using it in the world of security operatives. When they talk about intelligence, talking about information that is either can be used offensively or can be used to protect ourselves. The intelligence, The human needs this kind of intelligence. And I know the motivational industry and so on, they call it secrets. The secrets to success, the secret to this and the secret to that. And at the end of the day, those things are never secrets. They lie in plain sight. The so-called secrets to success, they lie in plain sight. Because people will never even apply them. It is those guys who apply those secrets that will come out and tell you, hey, guess what? It's a secret. But you knew it altogether. For example, consistency. If you do something, or maybe you're a writer, you write on a daily basis 1,000 words, that's consistency. It is a secret to success. One day you become an author. One day you improve your writing so much so that you become so versatile. It is a secret, so to speak. But that is the intelligence that you get in action. That's why I said in this episode that you are a sandwich. You live in the past, or you've been in the past. You are in the present, but you do have a future to go. And to the extent that you reach out to those extremes of the past and the future and get some intelligence out of those extremes, and apply that intelligence today, to that degree will you be able to grow and mature and become a better version of yourself. And that's what we've been looking at, that these intelligences are the things that we can use in our lives, and they are potent enough to move the needle of improvement in our lives. I shudder to think how life can become, or maybe even how my life was without these intelligences. Just before 2010, I believe I lived a life where I did not have these intelligences I'm telling you about. I mean, I was just living on autopilot, moving from one job to another, one interview, not actually moving from one job to another, but holding a job that I hated, stuck in that job for maybe my estimation 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, and I hated it to the core. I got to know about this job and I was excited at first because, it was better than nothing, and actually it was challenging. And then I rose to the challenge. 7 months down the line, I had known nearly everything that there was to know about this job. And then I just got fed up with it. There was no challenge anymore. And I stuck in there, trying to go from one interview to another, trying to get a better job, and not having any kind of intelligence in my life to use it. But at the back of my mind, I knew, Lawrence, you're meant for greater things. You're a greater guy. You're not supposed to be in this place. I knew it. But I did not have these intelligences that I'm giving you to use, to apply, so that I can get out of that situation. But one enduring thing that I thank God for in my life is the knowledge, the intelligence that I was meant for greater and bigger things. And by the way, every single working day, even today, even this season, the past month, or even just this month, I've been thinking about the same things. It comes to me that, Lawrence, what you're experiencing today, you are greater than it. You are better than it. You are called for greater things. You're called for better things. And I love that kind of intelligence. But anyway, if you look at your past and then you project about your future, there are these intelligences that you can get and you can apply in your life, and you can use them to become better. The first intelligence we discuss is the intelligence of achievement. In other words, the man was meant to be productive and meant to make things happen. So if you look at your life and there is no achievement, guess what? There is a problem. You've got to achieve something. And you cannot achieve something if you're not intentional about it. So if you look at your life in your past and there is no achievement, then become a visionary and say that there is going to be achievement in my life in the next 5 years on this, this and that. And go for it. Move heaven and earth to make that achievement come. So the first intelligence that you need is the intelligence of achievement in your life. The second kind of intelligence that you need is impact. Whom have you impacted in life? If there is nobody that you've impacted in life in your past, then become a visionary and say, in my next 10 years, in my next 5 years, if things are going to be okay. By the way, when you set a vision like this, I believe in my core being that you become a partner with the divine. When you set a vision to be impactful in life, you cannot die until that impact comes. That's just me. And you say, in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, I'm going to impact people in this way, and in that way, and in this way. So you become a visionary. That is the second kind of intelligence that you need, impact. And then the third kind of intelligence that we talked about yesterday, it is personal change and improvement. In other words, look at the things in your past, and there are very many. There is no saint today who doesn't have a past that cannot be improved, or even a present, let's forget about the past, that cannot be improved. All of us, we can change, we can improve at a personal level. And so you look at your life and you see this intelligence that needs to be improved. Maybe in my finances, maybe in my relationships, maybe in my public speaking, maybe in the way I read inspirational and instructional books on a daily basis, maybe in the way I interact with my friends and my family, maybe in the way I'm raising my children, maybe in the way I'm interacting with my spouse. There is always going to be a way that you're going to be improving. But today, one intelligence that is absolutely important for you to work on, it is the intelligence of personal growth. This is exactly where I was in 2010. If I looked at my life in 2010, there was absolutely no personal growth worth noting. I know there was some kind of spiritual growth and so on and so on going on, but there was no personal growth, intentional personal growth worth noting. And when you look at your life in the past and you see, you cannot answer this question: in which ways have I grown? In which ways have I registered personal growth in my life? And there is no answer to that question. Then you become a visionary in the immediate term, and you say that in the next 1 month, I'm not going to talk about years on this one, in the next 1 week, tomorrow, I am going to improve personally this way. Tomorrow I'm going to write an article. Even, let's talk about tomorrow. Today I'm going to write an article. You do it immediately. I am going to jog. I am going to do some sit-ups. I am going to make a phone call to my parents. As in, personal growth is one of the most important things that you don't need to plan for it. You can do it actually immediately. Growth is the paramount thing in life, just like change is. And I can always be better. I can always improve in a new area of my life. There are very many areas that we can be able to improve. Yesterday we were talking about changing. And that was from the premise that there are some aspects that are not going well in life that needs to be changed. But today we're talking about from the positive angle. I can start from scratch and I can improve my reading. I can start reading a book every day for 30 minutes. That is great personal growth. I can start listening to podcasts every day for 30 minutes. That's a great personal growth. So if you look at your life and there is no personal growth worth noting, you become a visionary and you say, I am going to improve my personal growth this way and that way. If I choose not to deliberately grow, then I have not chosen to be stagnant. I have already chosen to die slowly. There's this saying that motivational speakers normally talk about, that you died at 20, they buried you at 75. This is what normally happens. To die at 20 is to choose not to grow personally. If I choose not to deliberately grow, to intentionally grow, I have chosen to start dying in installments. Growth will cost you. Growth will cost me. It is going to cost us something. It's going to cost us time. It is going to cost us our own schedules. It's going to cost us our own comfort. It's going to cost us some money, by the way. But growth in this day and in this age, it is the cheapest thing ever. How many books can you download from pdfdrive.net? By their thousands. For free. How many audios can you get from podcasts with big time visionaries? Brendan Bouchard has a podcast. Tim Ferriss has a podcast. Tony Robbins has a podcast. Joyce Meyer has a podcast. TD Jakes has a podcast. Who will have an excuse not to have personal growth in this day and in this age for negligible costs? Next to nothing. And some of us, we can even go to a place where there's Wi-Fi and we download videos upon videos of Miles Monroe, Mike Murdoch and TD Jakes and all these gurus and teachers. You wanted something about sales, you wanted something about public speaking, you wanted something, anything you want in this world to grow, you can get that material for nearly for free. The only thing you pay is maybe your phone storage space, if there is such a thing, my friend. And yet, someone asks you, in which ways have you grown? In which ways have you registered personal growth in your life over the past 1 month? and you scratch your head like they've asked you a rocket science question. Personal growth is the next intelligence that you need to have in your life. If you cannot look back and see any way in which you grew, you are not intentional about it, you are on autopilot, you are dying in installments. So get intentional about it. Get visionary about it. Sit down today. Draw a line in the sand. Get a pen and get a paper and say, I am going to improve in this particular aspect. The next 3 months, I am going to focus on my personal growth in terms of public speaking, so that I can deliver speeches without having and all this kind of pause fillers. I'm going to deliver a speech that is going to be inspirational. I am focusing on that personal growth aspect in the next 4 months. Then after that, I'm going to focus on making my website the next 4 months. And then after that, I'm going to focus on creating products the next 4 months. That's personal growth. You cannot go wrong with that. But this intelligence, you need it, whether you have a degree, a diploma, a certificate, or none of those things. And it works big time. Well, tomorrow we talk about something else. But until then, I'm enjoying this. Bye-bye. A special shout out to my mentor Jeffrey Howard of Visionary Business University, found at mastermindmentor.com, who has graciously provided me with the soundtrack and the introductory track to this podcast. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.